You all will be blessed by another GST from the top. That is called, this is goods and services tax. That GST from the top is called sales tension. If you are faithful to GST here, you will have a shower of GST from the top. रात को नींद अच्छी आएगी कि भाई चलो GST बढ़ दिया है. रात को आप लोगों को नींद अच्छी आएगी कि मेरे पास जो 10, 15, 25, 50 कंपनी है उसको GST अच्छी तरह से भरवाई. Faithfulness and honesty in your work is the first step to work-life balance. We live in this 20th and the 21st century, and the times have been well described by somebody as, these are the times of fancier houses but broken homes. These are the times of double incomes and more divorces. These are the times of high-rise buildings but low-rise characters. These are the times where man has all the way gone to the moon and has come back, but he finds it difficult to cross the road and meet the new neighbor. These are the times where we have broader highways but narrower viewpoints. These are the times of sometimes steep profits in businesses but shallower relationships. In short, they say that these are the times where we have much to show with the show window and nothing in the stockroom. These are the state of affairs of man and society in the 21st century. In the midst of this, we all as professionals. You work in corporate sector, in a commercial setup. We work in an NGO setup. We also put 8 to 10 hours of administrative work every day. What I'm doing now in front of you is my extra work, my hobby. We in NGOs, we also work hard 8 to 10 hours a day, because the organization that I come from, the BAPS Swami Sanstha, is one of the largest organizations in the world. We have got a permanent seat in the United Nations as an NGO. And we have more than 1,300 hospitals, hostels, schools, colleges, community centers, mandirs and akshardhams in more than 60 countries of the world. So in one way, we are also MNCs. But we call it MNOs, multinational organization. And with 1,200 saints in the organization, we put in 8-10 hours of work into the administration, into the management, into the HR. And fortunately, we have about 8 to 10 saints who are chartered accountants. That is means coming from your fraternity. We have about 8 to 10 saints who are lawyers. You'll be surprised to know that more than about 750 saints in the organization are graduates, postgraduates, chartered accountants, doctors, and engineers. More than about 150 saints in the organization, they are born American and British citizens. And more than about 50 saints in the organization, they have studied from Ivy League colleges like Stanford, Harvard, Carnegie Mellon, and Yale. ये सभी बातें मैंने आपको इसलिए बताई कि आप लोग को ये ना लगे कि कुछ जमा नहीं होगा, ठीक नहीं चला होगा, इसलिए यहाँ के बैठ गया. ज्यादा पढ़े लिखे लोग, प्रोफेशनल्स, जब हम संत को देखते हैं तब यही सोचते हैं कि बेचारे को ठीक नहीं चला होगा, कुछ जमा नहीं होगा, संसार में कुछ कर नहीं पाया होगा, कुछ पढ़ाई नहीं की होगी, रोटी के लिए यहाँ बैठ गए. ऐसा नहीं है. Just about 3 months back, on 7th of December, our Guru Hari Mahant Swami Maharaj initiated 107 saints at one go, in one function, into sainthood. And as you have probation periods, we also have probation periods, 3 years of probation period. Only then the elders decide whether they are to be initiated or not. So it's a very systematic organization that I come from. Why I gave you this background is, we also have to make a work-life balance. As you have to do it, you also have to do it. And every person in this 7 billion population has to do it. Because work is inherent. Everybody has to work hard. Everybody has to put in their energy and resources every day in the morning. for themselves, for their family, for their fraternity, for the society, for the nation, since we are out to make our nation a $5 trillion economy, as the dreams of our Honorable Prime Minister. And today's results definitely show that we are definitely going to be on that path. So, the element of work, the element of hard work is put by nature and put by God in each and every living existence upon this earth. Human beings, animals, birds, insects, anybody. There is a proverb in the East African jungles that every morning when the sun rises, the slowest deer has to run faster, minimum faster than the fastest lion to see the evening. And the slowest lion has to run minimum faster than the slowest deer to see the evening. So the conclusion of this story goes, that is, the moral of the story is, whether you are the lion or the deer, when the sun rises, you have to run. आप हिरन हो या शेर हो, सूर्योदय होते ही आपको दौड़ना तो पड़ेगा. The element of work, the element of hard work. Lion being the king of the jungle, he walks and runs average 15 to 20 kilometers a day with his family in search of food. Element of work has to be accepted, and we have accepted it. So nothing more to say about it. But if you want to maintain a good work-life balance, what to take care in the work part of your life? The principal thing that you have to take care in the work part is intense hard work with ethics, norms and disciplines. Especially this is much expected from the tax people. More the faithfulness of the tax people, better the treasury of the nation. Healthy the financial ecosystem of the nation. Do you agree with me or not? More the ethics of the tax people and better the systems for the common man in the society. An element of hard work with ethics and norms. Our Guruji Pramukh Swami Maharaj, whose birth centenary celebrations we are celebrating this year. It will be a giant 30-day festival in Ahmedabad in the month of November and December on 750 acres of land. Beautiful exhibitions, light and sound shows and everything. The amount of intense hard work that it did to grow this organization to this level, unbelievable. Pramukh Swami Maharaj traveled to more than 18,000 villages, towns and cities in 60 countries to uplift human life in all walks. And this is a statistics after him being the age of 51. This is from 51 to 90. Along with that, he personally visited more than 3.5 lakh homes, offices, factories and shops to sanctify culture people, to the Eric people. People used to write letters to Pramukh Swami Maharaj for their personal issues, family issues, social issues, professional issues. Not just for blessings, but for guidances as well. Such 7.5 lakh letters read and answered at an unbelievable average of reading and answering more than 70 letters a day without a Sunday for 45 years. If you, after your conference ends on 13th, that is Sunday, on Monday morning when you attend your office, and you open your office mailbox and you have to answer 25 mails before lunch, what happens to you? Pramukh Swami Maharaj, in the midst of all these travels, he answered 70 letters a day. And that too, I'm talking of the decades of 70s, 80s and 90s. And there was not such strong and commendable communication systems in the society. He created 1,300 institutes of social service in a span of 50 years. That is, every 15th day, he gifted either a hospital or a hostel or a school or a mandir or an Akshardham. You might have all visited Akshardham at Gandhinagar or Delhi. Just raise your hands if you've been there. All of you. Was created by Pramukh Swami Maharaj. Every 15th day, imagine somebody in your fraternity opening up a new office in a new town or a city every 15th day. Impossible. The president says impossible. That means all of you say impossible, isn't it? Pramukh Swami Maharaj did it every 15th day, from acquisition of land to the constructions, we being non-profit organizations, fundraised, tenders dished out, plans passed in the local government bodies, inauguration done, institute put in the service of society every 15th day for 50 years. And for that, Guinness Book of World Records has named Pramukh Swami Maharaj as the master builder of the 20th century. Why I am telling you this? That we have inspirations all around us from people like Pramukh Swami Maharaj, that intense hard work is not just a human duty, is not just a human endeavor, it's a human dignity. In the last 10 days, I traveled to 9 states of India, in 9 cities and delivered 10 talks. In last 10 days, 9 states of India. Everybody has to work. So intense hard work, but with ethics, norms and disciplines. Only then you will be able to maintain work-life balance. The moment you go on the path of non-ethical working, you will disturb your private life, family life and social life as well, because it is a direct connection. Imagine the people who had some non-ethical working in their life and the way they have disturbed their private life, family life, social life. Those who tried to de-shade or overshine the cricket ball had to leave cricket. And today's noon breaking news is that one of those announced his total retirement from all formats of cricket. I was just looking at that. The pace bowler from India who was caught for spot fixing. Today noon time around 2:33, he announced his retirement from all formats of cricket. Disturbed personal life, family life, everything. So those who tried to de-shape the cricket ball or overshine the cricket ball had to leave cricket. Those who tried to play with the banks had to leave India for London or to the Caribbean islands. So whoever you are, wherever you are, whatever you are, you don't have the right to play with ethics. You can't say I'm a taxman since 40 years. I'm an authority on direct tax or indirect tax, whatever. You may be. We respect your knowledge. But that knowledge does not give you the authority to play with ethics. Right or wrong? Just raise your hands if you say yes. Because nobody is about norms and disciplines. You can become no overnight from yes. Did you get my point? You can become no overnight from yes. That is, yes bank becomes no bank overnight. Nobody has the right to play with ethics. Even if you are an electrical engineer and you have 40 years of experience in your field, and maybe you are the chairman of a state corporation, on a fine Sunday morning while having a cup of coffee and a Sunday newspaper in your hand, and you are just relaxing on your armchair, you cannot tell the plug besides you, the electric plug, that, hey, plug, then the distribution of electricity in the whole state is under my authority. I am the chairman, and this is a chairman's finger. Okay, I am putting it inside the plug. Please take care of it. Welcome it well. Can you tell it? Can you put your finger inside the plug? Can the chairman of an electric corporation board put it? Electricity doesn't know your post, position and power, isn't it? It only recognizes human flesh and blood. In the same way, ethics doesn't know your post, position and power. It recognizes only human flesh and blood. As you can't play with electricity, you can't play with fire, you can't play with water, you can't play with ethics. And if you are wedded to ethics, sometimes I jokingly say that everybody should marry twice. One with your spouse and one with ethics. You have to get married with ethics. That is human dignity. I cite you an example which strikes me at the moment. You might have heard the name of Dominic Strauss-Kahn, popularly known as DSK. Once upon a time, he was the International Monetary Fund president, IMF, a world organization which handles billions of dollars. And he was destined, according to a pre-poll online survey, to become the president of France. At present, Mr. Macron is the president of France. In his place, people had selected him in an online poll. One fine day, he flew from New York to London, checked inside a London hotel, and then he was supposed to fly to Paris. It is said, according to newspaper reports, that he misbehaved with a hospitality staff, a lady, inside the room, and the lady ran out into the corridor shouting, and that was in the corridor caught in the CCTV camera. And the lady complained that when I went inside the room, after he asked for some help there, I was sent by the manager and he misbehaved with me. He was immediately arrested, his passport seized, the news broke out. A couple of weeks after that, on the second online poll, at who would you choose to become the president of France for all the citizens, Dominic Strauss-Kahn was lagging behind miserably. People decided that we don't want a person of lesser character as the president of our country. The person who was IMF president, the person who was designed and designated and destined to become the president of France, today he is a small-time financial advisor to a small former USSR country. Where was he? Where was he supposed to go? And where did he come down? Work-life balance totally gone. Why? Because he could not maintain character ethics at his workplace. We believe in gender equality. At the same time, we must believe in gender discipline as well. And when this gender discipline is broken at the workplace, within seconds, you will lose your post. Within seconds, you will lose your job. Within seconds, your profile will go into dustbin. Within seconds, the news will break and you will not be hired by anyone. And this has given birth to a popular movement called the Me Too movement. You all must be aware of it. Yes or no? Raise your hands. Very less speakers would tell on this, and I, particularly when I'm given this topic to talk, I definitely talk on this, because every month many professionals are losing their job and their life because of this unethical character behavior at their workplace. You might be knowing a few names, I know a few names. According to the newspaper reports and according to the court proceedings in the US, a man by the name Fanish Murthy, he was heading iGate, and this guy had a particular neck. that he would take up an IT company who had almost gone into a dustbin, into millions of dollars of losses, and within 2 years, he would turn around that IT company into a profit-making organization. He had that knack of turning around an IT company. He had done it 4 or 5 times. So this iGate company hired him. He turned it around. But it was reported in the newspapers and the court proceedings that he had an illicit relationship with a co-worker. And according to the US courts, if you start a relationship in your office, you have to report it to the top manager. And if you don't, and if you're caught by your emails or WhatsApp or messages or whatever, then you have to face the risk. Same happened with this guy. He was out from it. And you'd be surprised to know, this is an incident like about 7, 8, 10 years back. The losses that he occurred, the financial losses, because he had certain stakes in stocks as well of the company, was amounting to $45 million. The moment he was out, his financial losses at that very moment from the company was $45 million. So my second point in maintaining work-life balance from the work point of view, maintaining work-life balance from the work point of view is that be very careful when it comes to gender disciplines. Man and women can work together, must work together, put in their resources, their talents, their energies, their academics, their experience, make a fine team, work together, come up with projects. It's a fine design that everybody logs in their expertise to make a wonderful team. So there can never be any gender bias, but there is always a gender discipline. And the moment you transgress that line, sometimes I very aptly say that a simple handshake can prove dangerous for you after 6 months. You will break all your work-life balances. Hundreds of divorces have been reported because of this. देखो आपने संत को बुलाया इसलिए हम तो सच्ची बात करेंगे, अच्छी बातें नहीं करेंगे, बटरिंग नहीं करेंगे, क्योंकि हमें आपके पास से कोई स्वार्थ नहीं है. I don't charge a single rupee for my talks. I've been talking since 25 years at national, international conferences. Travel to more than 30 countries for my talks. I don't charge. Today also, coming here, I have not charged a single rupee from the organization. Am I right? ये हम निस्वार्थ भाव से सेवा करते हैं, क्योंकि हमारे गुरु प्रमुख स्वामी महाराज और महंत स्वामी महाराज की आज्ञा से कर. So I don't expect anything. So I can tell you the right thing. वरना थोड़ा बटरिंग करना पड़ता है. तो वर्क लाइफ बैलेंस मेंटेन करने के लिए from the work point of view, you have to be a disciplined person at your workplace. Don't transgress certain limits. You should know your limits. Another good aspect of work-life balance from the work point of view is that don't engage yourself in any types of office politics or leg pulling. Live a dignified professional life. He or she, they are they, I am I. He or she, they are enjoying their academics, their hard work, their destiny, their blessings of God. I am, according to my academics, my experience, my know-how, my gains, my blessings. Don't envy anybody. If you envy anybody at your workplace or even if you're a competitor, you cease to be a human being. You are like just any other animal. Human beings, we must live with dignity. No envy with anybody. They are there. He's earning fine, good. His hard work, his know-how, his connectivity, his blessings. He's earning much better. He has started earning more clients, fine. His hard work, his destiny, his karma, fine. Keep that attitude to maintain peace of mind back home. Otherwise, you will carry tons of workload as frustrations and irritations as unsatisfaction back home at 6 p.m. and make your family unnecessarily unhappy. No office politics and no leg pulling. Your work should speak for yourself. Your productivity will speak for you. Let your work and productivity. Sachin Tendulkar has been criticized a few times for maybe at the times when he was most wanted to play and win the match for the country. Maybe at that time he could not perform. Now this is a game of uncertainties. But Sachin has never spoke against anybody. Many a times he has been given out wrongly. A few times in the 90s. When he saw the umpire's finger up, he would just put his head down, walk out of the crease and walk towards the paddock. Sometimes the press people has put their fingers in his mouth to speak out something for the umpires, for the decision. Sachin would never. He always said that the discipline of my sport is, I've been raised in that way, that when the umpire's finger goes up, you have to walk out of the crease. And don't criticize the decision. Don't comment on it. That is called ethics at your workplace. Discipline ethics at your workplace. So never get involved in any type of unethical practices at your workplace. किसी का रिपोर्ट बिगाड़ दो, किसी की फाइल में कुछ एडिशन सब्सट्रैक्शन करवा दो, किसी के बारे में बॉस को कोई दो शब्द कह दो, बॉस की जरा ज्यादा नजर है उस पे तो उसके बारे में थोड़ा गलत रिपोर्ट बॉस को बता दो. Don't get involved in such cheap things in life. You will never grow. If you want to grow at the highest level, elephants walk, dogs bark. Elephant doesn't turn around to look even who is barking. This we have put as a big sculpture at Swaminarayan Akshardham in New Delhi. Forget what people are talking. Do your work. That is a very good ethic at your workplace. See, the top guy in the country, the top person in the country today, he has this neck. If he keeps on his listening of what is being talked about him, he'll not be able to generate the work that he's generating every day, not able to produce the results that he's producing every day. And being a smart professional, you must develop the art of turning criticism to your advantage. The top guy in the country has this knack of turning any criticism into a huge vote bank. That is an art. That is professionalism. That is an art and a professionalism. Simple. You know the highest meaning of a professional? The highest meaning of a professional is not that you do your work academically smart or artistically, or your presentation is extraordinary, or you produce beautiful results. Okay, that may be a part of it. But according to me, the one word meaning or the similarity of professional is that stability, is calmness under all situations in life. When you work ethically, you will get this stability. If you don't work ethically, you will never gain. Another good aspect of ethics at your workplace to maintain a good work-life balance so as to not disturb your personal and family life is a very good slok that has been taught in the Srimad Bhagavad Gita by Bhagwan Sri Krishna. Karmanyavadhikaraste ma phaleshu kadachana. Bhagwan Krishna teaches us that your job is to perform your duty well according to the best of the resources that you have. Results, Bhagwan Swaminarayan says, I decide. Bhagwan Krishna says, I decide. And we all have this experience. I will ask you two questions. In both of that, you will say yes. Nobody will be able to say no. I've challenged you Now I'm asking you the question. Question number one. We all have an experience that sometimes we have planned well, executed well, had a good team, best resources, and expecting the best outcome, yet we did not get the desired results. Yes or no? Tell me a yes or no. Second question. Sometimes because of certain time constraints, resources constraints, we are able to plan less, execute less, and still we got results beyond expectation. Yes or no? Have you ever given a thought to this happening? That why sometimes I planned and executed to my best, did not get the result, and sometimes it was less on it, yet I got the best results. This is karmanyevadhikaraste ma phaleshu kadachan. Bhagwan Krishna says, you work, results I will decide. When as a professional you understand this well, you will not get into stress and tension. We get into stress in daily life, into tensions, into frustrations, irritations, and angers because of only one question. Why did not I get this result? Isn't it? The one thing producing stress is this. Why did not I get this result? Isn't it? That means you are a smart professional, but a foolish human being. If you keep posing this question to yourself every day in the evening, every 31st of the month, especially 31st March, and every 31st December of the year, maybe you are a smart and experienced professional, but you are a foolish human being. Because it is very clearly stated, and I asked you two questions and you agreed with me, with your experience, not just agreeing with the speaker, with a saying, you agreed from your inner heart. Yes or no? So keep a strong faith that my job as a professional is to give my best output, using all the resources that I have to produce the best results. But in the evening, tell yourself, I did my job to the best of my knowledge. Let him decide the results. Then you will feel stability and calmness. Otherwise, रात को 12 बजे तक नींद नहीं आएगी. Sleeping pill लेनी पड़ेगी. 2:30 बजे उठ जाओगे. क्या होगा? क्या होगा? जो उसने नक्की किया वही होने वाला है. सो जा. So my telling you in ethics is, along with being a smart professional, become a wise human being as well. Don't throughout your life become a smart, experienced professional and a foolish human being. No. Do you want these two labels? Nobody wants it. If you don't understand this, the all-doership of God, we are foolish humans. Again, I repeat, put your best resources to produce results. It's a human dignity. To produce the best results of the work that is in your hand. But results, finally he decides to accept it. If you don't get the results of your expectation, next time work smarter, work wiser, work more. But don't get into stress and tension. Why did not I get results? Because he has decided. Because if there are 10 factors affecting positively for the successful outcome of your work, there are other 10 factors who work negatively to bring down the results of the work, which probably are not in your hands. Give me the list of factors that affect positively to bring the positive, successful outcome of the work. One is dedication. People, that is a good teamwork. Just raise your hands if you have answers. Positive outcome of your work, the factors that affect it. Just raise your hands. Maximum concentration. What did you say? Bliss, yeah. Peaceful mind, bliss, concentration. Lack of expectation, least of expectation. Okay, somebody else? Yes, you? Hard work. These are all the factors that affect positively to bring a successful outcome of your project. Now question number 2. List me the name of the factors that affect negatively, even after your hard work, even after your good teamwork, to bring a negative outcome of your project. COVID-19, that means that was not in your control, isn't it? Any other thing? Ukraine, Russia, and hopefully it stops. It doesn't go to another country. Stress. Then you are concerned with, straight away connected with government policies, which are not in your hands. You can maximum suggest it. And then they will lead. Other factors. Sorry? Third party designing otherwise. Definitely. So there are many factors that affect negativity, which are not in your hands. When you know this, why are you getting yourself into stress and tension? My point in telling is this. This is called a work-life balance. Understanding this principle put forward by God Himself and having it practical in your life is a good work-life balance. Then your mind will be free of all tensions and stresses. Our Guru Pramukh Sai Maharaj was once in Vallabh Vidyanagar, the academic town in central Gujarat. One Mr. Nathubai Patel, he was the general manager of Alicon Engineering Company, a well-wisher of the organization. He would come for Pramukh Swami Maharaj's darshan whenever Pramukh Swami is around. And once he said, Swami, something is in my mind. I want to ask you a question that has been disturbing me since quite a few times. And he said, Swamiji, I have seen you in all types of your daily routine. Your morning walk, doing your morning puja, attending meetings. Because Pramukh Swami Maharaj used to attend 4 to 5 hours of administrative meetings every day. Because our organization today, when I'm talking to you at this moment, in more than about 30 countries, 50 construction projects are on. So this is a very huge organization. And our Guruji Mahant Swami Maharaj today at the age of 89, he attends more than 100 letters a day. He attends more than 45 to 50 phone calls a day. He attends 2.5 to 3 hours of administrative meeting every day at the age of 89. He said, Nathubai, that Swami has seen you in administrative meetings, on phone calls, meeting people, writing letters. I've never seen a single wrinkle of stress or tension or workload on your face. And I'm just a general manager of the company. I'm not the owner of the company. At 6 p.m. when I get up from my office, I can put back everything in my office and go as a free man. But still I can't. And because of that, at 9 p.m. I have to drink a couple of glasses of buttermilk. છાસના 2-3 ઘૂંટડા પીવા પડે તો રાત્રે ઊંઘ આવે. How come you are managing? Pramukh Swami said this thing, that from in the morning when we wake up, we pray to God and accept the work that we are supposed to do on that day. We put all the energy and the resources that we have in making that work happen. And by evening time, we give it back to God that I tried my best. Whatever results you decide, I'll accept it. This is called wise work-life balance. Don't carry your work at 6 p.m. back home, okay? If there is a file in your hand back home, you are not a good manager of work and time. So when I talk to professionals, I give them a system which I have designed, the 8+8+8 system of the 24 hours that you have. It should be well distributed into 8+8+8 system. First 8 hours is honest, ethical, hard work in whichever profession you are. Second 8 hours is a good sleep or rest. Today you might have read in the Times of India that our country, India, is the most sleep deprived country of the world. India is the most sleep deprived country of the world. It is reported today. So 8 hours of good sleep or rest. And third 8 hours are very important for your work-life balance. If you can work on that, leave those third 8 hours well, then you stand a chance of a good work-life balance, a satisfied and a happy one. And if you can't, you stand a good chance of losing your work-life balance and complaints from all quarters. What is that third 8 hours? Third 8 hours we preach and teach and practice 3F, 3H and 3S. 3F is family, friends and faith. 3H is health, hygiene and hobby. 3S is your soul, service and smile. In these 9 departments, you should be spending your third 8 hours. Of course, into fragments during the whole day. Then it is a proper work-life balance. Otherwise, it is donkey working. अनेक प्रकार के वर्किंग्स होते हैं. ह्यूमन वर्किंग होता है, स्मार्ट वर्किंग होता है, वाइज वर्किंग होता है, प्रोफेशनल वर्किंग होता है, डोंकी वर्किंग भी होता है. The moment I see a professional carrying a file at home, I feel that he is not a good manager of time and work. And otherwise as well, don't carry your home in your heart next day at 9 a.m. Eight plus 8 plus 8 is the system. If you don't remember any other thing in this talk, remember 8 plus 8 plus 8. I want all of you to repeat with me what I say. Third 8 hours of the day is 3F, 3H and 3S. 3F is only what I say. Repeat only what I say. Next people are a step ahead. I know, I appreciate it. But you decide what I'm supposed to pay to the government when I give you the profits of the company. 3F. Family, friends, faith. 3H. Health, hygiene, hobby. 3S. Soul, service and smile. Now smile. Sorry? Yeah, I'll elaborate a bit. So this 8 plus 8 plus 8 is the system which is a perfect life balance. Now listen this statement carefully. If 70% of your conscious days of life, you can live 70% of this system, it is a life well lived. आपके पास पृथ्वी पे जितने दिन हैं, उसमें से 70% दिन आप 70% of this system जी सको, it is a good work life balance. 30% तो अलाउड है. कभी काम आ गया, रात को 10 बजे घर पहुंचते हो, अलाउड. इमरजेंसी है, रात को 11:30 बजे पहुंचे, अलाउड. But 70% of your conscious days of life, and you have to leave 70% of this system, then you are called a person who maintained a good work-life balance. That is as clear as that. So elaborating on that, soul, service and smile. Soul is your spirituality, your prayers, your connection with God, chanting the holy name, meditation, etc. Service is your selfless service to society. We got the call of the Prime Minister of India, Honorable Narendra Bhai Modi, just about a week or 9 days back, to start relief camps, meals on Poland border, on the Ukraine-Poland border. We responded within about 18 to 20 hours. And when I'm talking to you today, more than 1,000 Indian students, they stay at the shelter camps designed by BAPS, and we provide them 3-time meals. Our volunteers from Switzerland and Paris travel non-stop, drove 22 hours with long, huge-sized kitchen vans to start the camps there. That is called service. This is the work part of it. In the life part, give time, quality and quantity time to your family. According to a Harvard study, they carried out the survey in more than 110 countries of the world. For 8 years, the survey was on. They interviewed 1 lakh families across caste, creed, religion. And the conclusion paper writes, the principal question they asked to these families was, what according to you is the greatest joy upon this earth? 67% plus respondents, they said, according to us, spending quality and quantity time with your near and dear ones, whom you love and respect, who loves and respects you, is the greatest joy upon this earth. So don't take your family for granted. वो तो रात को 10 बजे भी जाते तो भी घर खोलते, दरवाजा खोलते, सब घर पे ही. Warren Buffett, the richest investor upon this earth, with more than $100 billion of investments. क्या work-life balance है? When he was interviewed, he is the chairman of Berkshire Hathaway, 63 companies underneath. And he has a work-life balance. He says that from morning 9 to 6, I'm a businessman. From 6 in the evening to 9, I'm a family man. From 9 p.m. to 10:30 p.m., I am a spiritual entity. This is a work-life balance. And you keep your mobile phones on till 11, 11:30 and 12 midnight, isn't it? President says unfortunately, but deliberately. Which is a fact. Because the decision is in your hands, whether to shut it off or not. क्या आपको ये है कि मैं टैक्समैन हूं, बहुत बड़ी जिम्मेदारी है. रात को अगर 11:30 बजे पीएमओ में से फोन आया कि जीएसटी पॉलिसी पे कोई डिस्कशन है और एक पार्लियामेंट्री कमेटी का फॉर्मेशन होने वाला है, उसमें शायद मेरी गिनती पीएमओ कर ले और रात को 11:30 बजे फोन आए और अगर मैं ना उठा पाऊं तो देश की बढ़िया सेवा हो जाएगी. क्या आप ये समझते हो? आपके जैसे भारत में लाखों हैं, जिनको बुलाना है बुला लेते हैं. आप शांति से सो जाओ. This is causing a huge mental disturbance. On an average, an Indian spends 2 hours and 25 minutes in front of the screen every day. And this blue light, especially during your sleep time, it can disturb much of your inner system and you don't go into deep sleep. The best medicine is a deep sleep. So good 8 hours of sleep or rest. You don't own the responsibility of all the companies of your city to pay the tax to the government, okay? And you are trying and vying for more and more work. I'm not against it. All of you as professionals are trying and vying for more work and more clients every day. I'm not against it. That is a human dignity to work harder. But you have to put a satisfaction bar somewhere. You will have to stop somewhere so that you don't lose your health, you don't lose your family, you don't lose your personal choices, you don't lose your hobbies. You have to. Am I right or wrong? For a good work-life balance. If you have won the whole world in your profession, but you have lost yourself as a husband, as a wife, as a father, as a brother, as a wife, as a sister, as a relative, as a neighbor, as a cousin, you will be termed and labeled as a loser and not a winner. Again, I repeat in one line what I said in 3 lines. If you are a winner in your profession, but a loser in your family life, you will be termed as a loser, not as a winner. So, सभी की चिंता आपको नहीं है, चिंता मत करना. और बहुत इंफॉर्मेशन कलेक्ट करना के प्रयत्न मत करना. That is also good work-life balance. Because what is sugar to a diabetic patient is loads of information to human mind. ठीक है, आज के इलेक्शंस और आज के रिजल्ट से आपने देख लिया because it is our country. लेकिन अमेरिका में इलेक्शंस हैं और डोनाल्ड ट्रंप ने ये कहा और बाइडेन ने ये नहीं कहा. What are you doing sitting here in Mumbai? ठीक है, इंफॉर्मेशन लेना प्रिंसिपल. What happened to the Democrats in Florida and what happened to the Republicans in California? Why are you concerned sitting here? फ्री टाइम में तो नाम स्मरण कर लेने, वो भी तेरे वर्क लाइफ बैलेंस के लिए बहुत अच्छी बात है. I end with the last good teaching. Include spirituality in your daily routine. Practical spirituality. Prayers is a practical spirituality. Chanting the holy name is a practical spirituality. Meditation is a practical spirituality. Visiting for Dev Darshan is a practical spirituality. Reading the scriptures is a practical spirituality. Sant Samagam is a practical spirituality. More than 50,000 research papers have been published nationally and internationally by men of science, not just by men of religion. How all this helps you physically, mentally and emotionally. आप ये कहेंगे कि हम तो संत से भगवान में श्रद्धा की बात करेंगे. Science tells you. I can give tons of examples. The subject is different. But recently at the University of Philadelphia and the University of Pennsylvania, Dr. Andrew Newberg, Dr. H.G. Go, I'm giving you the names. You can go on Google. They did an experiment. They did a survey with 4,000 subjects, 4 groups of 1,000 each, of different age groups. And they, before the start of the experiment, their MRIs and CT scans were done by special psychoneuro softwares. And then they were asked to chant the holy name of God in whichever form that they believed in for 12 minutes. The experiment continued for 3-4 times. And thereafter they were sent back home. They were asked to do it for 2-3 months. That is like about 10-12 weeks. Again brought back. Okay, again a couple of experiments. That is the sessions. And again their MRIs and CT scans were done by psychoneuro softwares version 2.0. That means absolutely a scientific experiment. And the conclusion report reads that children in the age group of 4 to 12, if they chant the holy name of God for 12 minutes a day, there is a possibility of 20 to 25% increase in their memory power. Second, age group was 12 to 22, the teenagers and youngsters, 12 to 22. 12 minutes of chanting the holy name, their willpower and confidence increases by 15 to 25%. Third age group was 22 to 60, mostly all of us that we are sitting here, 22 to 60 years, the working age group. They had a tremendous advantage that 12 minutes of chanting the whole holy name every day, that was unbelievable 25% plus increase in their buffer capacity, that is the capacity to absorb shocks of life. सबसे ज्यादा शॉक तो यही एज ग्रुप में आते हैं ना, 22 to 60, जो कुछ भी आने वाले हैं आते हैं. 25% increase in your buffer capacity to absorb the shocks of life. And the last age group was 60 to 80, that is the retired people and old age people. They had also an advantage of about 15 to 25% increase in the strength of their immune system. This is again a big advantage. So chanting the holy name gives you a better memory power, a greater willpower, a more confidence level, better buffer capacity and strength of immune system. Isn't this an advantage? चलो स्वर्ग की बात भूल जाओ, मोक्ष की बात भूल जाओ. ये advantage लेने के लिए भी करना पड़ता है. You are tax people, you know where to take the advantage. This is the big advantage. ये रखेंगे तो वर्क लाइफ बैलेंस इसलिए अच्छा रहेगा कि आपकी पर्सनल और फैमिली लाइफ कूल, काम, स्टेबल रहे. ये बहुत जरूरी है. So for a perfect work-life balance, 8+8+8 is the system. I talked to you about intense hard work, but that should be with ethics, norms, and disciplines. I talked to you about your discipline of character at your workplace for a work-life balance. Otherwise, it can get disturbed lifetime. I talked to you about unity at your workplace. Keep an attitude that I'm an individual, he or she is they, I'm mine, they're enjoying their work and their destiny. I'm enjoying my work, my academics and my destiny. No envy with anybody. Then I told you to come back to your home, not carrying your workload. You know, in life, actually, you're playing with 5 balls. All 5 balls are of glass. Sorry, 4 of glass, 1 is rubber. First ball is the ball of work. Second ball is the ball of family. Third is ball of friends. Fourth is ball of health. And fifth is ball of your soul. You are juggling with 5 balls. We have seen in circus the jokers juggling with few balls and he would not drop a single one. We are also juggling with 5 balls. These are the 5 balls of life. The first ball is the ball of work, which is made up of rubber. If you lose it, it falls on the ground, it will bounce back. Work opportunities is like a bus stand. A bus comes every 3 minutes. But the rest 4 balls, family, health, soul, and friends, is made up of glass. Once you lose it and it falls on the floor, it may break. If not break, it may crack. If may not crack, it may de-shape. So get to work on time, work effectively during your working hours, and get back to your family on time. Isn't it? Your family doesn't need or just does not need or deserve your money. They need and deserve your time as well. Do you agree with me or not? So this is a proper work-life balance. My innermost prayers for all of you. Thank you very much for patiently listening to me. And may my Guru, Swami Maharaj and Master Maharaj bless you.